didn't hear you come in. Our last review was such a crude affair with many foul swear words that today we need to be more sophisticated. In that endeavor, today we'll be looking at Masterpiece Lambor Anime Edition. So join me, won't you? Ah yes, let us look at our new Transformers Masterpiece Lambor MP-12 Plus Anime Edition Sideswipe. We are prepared with our very fancy glass. Yes, wonderful. He comes with all of the accessories that you may have seen in the other releases of this mold, and here they are all wonderfully painted. If we compare these to the original release, we can see the differences are quite apparent. This one is painted in a nice, kind of sparkly dark gray, while this one is merely molded in black plastic. For the launcher, they're both white. But this one again is, the original was molded in complete white plastic, while this one has a wonderful coat of white paint across it. As for the gun, the new one is in a flat gray, whereas the original is in a shiny metallic silver, again helping bring that cartoon wonderful accuracy to life. Let us focus now upon the car mode itself. As you can see, it has a nice vibrant red all across, like the original, which was simply molded in red plastic. I believe most of this to be painted, evidenced, for example, by this paint scratch right here, which is very unfortunate. Also on the inside of the car, you can see a paint scratch on the foot, even though I have yet to transform this figure. We can see that the wheels are also painted gray. Some black detailing there. A nice big Autobot symbol. Underneath, nothing too fancy, but we can see some unpainted red plastic here. It helps contrast which pieces are actually painted. As well with the roof here, the semi-transparent blue has been painted over with red. It matches very well on the sides, but on the hood you can see it is a bit of a different color. I suspect there is a black undercoat and then the red on top of it that is providing that discrepancy. When we compare car modes side by side with the original release, we will notice many differences. First off, the red is quite more of a richer red in a way, whereas this one's kind of almost more of a brighter red. I'm sorry, the words do escape me to describe the difference, but there is definitely a difference in the reds. The Autobot logo is larger, the windshield is tinted blue, there is less detail back here. These are not painted black, there's no black here, there's no black on the intakes, there's no black outline around the headlight. Coming around to the side, you can see that the wheels are painted gray, which is the biggest difference. Also, there is no black handle painted on this one. Go around to the rear of the vehicles. We will notice that lots of differences here again, just a different paint scheme. And then for the front of the vehicles, we will notice that there are no silver highlights in the front bumper. One last bit of detail, the side view mirrors are not black, they are painted red instead. And here you can see, compared to the animation model, how much closer these changes bring it in line. Now, to compare to robot mode, I will not be showing such crude and boorish things such as a transformation on video for all to see. If you are interested in such things, there are many videos of this figure out there, but such crude nonsense. Transformation is to be a private affair, kept to oneself. One thing of note when transforming him is this piece here, that slides in and out. It's extremely stiff that first time. I suspect the paint had almost glued it in place. It was extremely difficult, but once it's out, it was fine. Now here he is in robot mode. Let's go over some of the paint applications we have here. Obviously at first is the solid white pieces for the pieces atop the shoulders, across the waist, piece on the crotch, his upper thighs, and the pieces on the knees. It is difficult to tell if the forearms are painted or not. If they are not the bright white as these. They potentially could be a different color. Lastly are the feet are painted gray, and what I thought was a paint chip turns out a paint bubble that had popped. And lastly, the back of the heels are painted red, same as the other parts of the car. Standing next to his original release, we can see that there are many changes. However, they are all slight variations, mostly where silver was changed to white and flat gray. Up here again with the silver to the white. Unpainted pieces like the upper thighs and the waist are now painted. The face, of course, is also now a different color. Here we can see how it compares with the animation model, and as of note, without significant mold changes, we cannot get realistically closer to the animation model, especially with the width of the chest and the way that the legs and the feet kind of flow together. I believe this is as good as it is going to get for the line for quite some time, or unless a third-party company perhaps releases something. Cost on this fellow is about $85 US from your typical online retailer. You may be able to find it for $10–15 cheaper if you should stoop to such depravity. Ultimately, the question is, should you purchase this figure? If you do not have the mold in your Masterpiece collection, then obviously, I feel this is the one to get, as it goes with the current trend of the line to a more cartoon aesthetic. If you have the original, however, I think that can be a bit more of a difficult call. While the changes are definitely appreciative, it can be hard to buy that $70 to $80+ for what are more minor changes, especially when compared to Red Alert, where Red Alert had many more extensive paint changes from the original. Personally, I feel that there is very little coming out for G1 Masterpiece fans right now, and so I had the extra in the budget to go ahead and purchase this figure. Although I was late on doing so, even though the G1 line is my favorite. He does take what I feel is already a great mold and improves upon it for the character, enough for me to want to be able to maximize my use of him in my collection. And it also can't be denied that he looks wonderful next to his brother. But then again, so does the original. So ultimately, I think it comes down to if the expenditure, like all things, is worth it to you for your Masterpiece collection. That is where most of my going, so having what I feel fits the most ultimate in that collection makes it worthwhile for me. I do hope you have enjoyed this sophisticated review without the crudeness of the previous ones, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.